Okay, this is a videotape analysis of a topspin backhand. I'm going to use the great Roger Federer. I think it's one of the prettiest topspin backhands. A few things I'm going to be focusing on. Obviously, is the little L. I've written an article called "The L is for Leverage." What I mean by the little L is the 90-degree angle shape right there that I'm going to show you that Roger Federer holds right there, pretty much at 90 degrees right there throughout his stroke, and he's going to keep that little L going during the backswing phase, during the stroke phase, and the follow-through phase of the stroke. And that's pretty much one of the most important parts of the topspin backhand, and one of the most the common fundamentals that I keep referring to that one needs to have regardless of what level you're playing. If you have a one-handed backhand, you need that little L right there. Now let's rewind for a second. What I really like that he does right there is he turns his he gets his racket up to his non-hitting shoulder without really turning the entire body. It's just a shoulder. If you see the shoulders are turned, but his feet here are still free to move, side to side or up and back, but his shoulders are pretty much turned. So a great setup right there. Now you have to almost what I call that the no backswing backhand. It's just kind of just a shoulder turns, just sets the racket right there. Now on this next move right there, as the body is coiled, I want you to focus on what to me is one, as far as the footwork, the most important part of the footwork is the heel to toe weight transfer. And what that will do right there is going to allow him to bend that leg right there, to bend it and to come in order, it's going to help him use his hips a little bit more right there. So that heel to toe transfer is going to allow him to shift his weight forward. Now, so if you happen to lack power and not driving your legs into the shot as much as you like to, think about the heel to toe weight transfer. Now, from that point on right there, this was his backswing right here, and from here on out, it's going to be pretty much the stroke begins from that point forward. Now, as I let the tape roll a little bit, this is to me the most important position of the backhand, and I call that the power position. And there is the 90-degree angle back there. The L is set up right there, so that's huge. You must get your racket all the way back. The racket is almost parallel to the back fence right here, and perpendicular to this fence right here. So pointing the head of the racket, pointing back there, the strings pointing back, and that's a perfect setup. And from that point, he's going to unleash. So the stroke starts up here. He's going to drop it behind him. If we did better angle, you could see the racket from behind his back right there. That's how far back the racket is pointing. And from that point forward, he's going to release. Now, what I want you to notice right there is the position of the left hand. The left hand is still right here. The left hand stayed on the racket. The left hand came forward, and right about here is going to let go. And that's going to help him maintain right there the head of the racket, to have the head of the racket below the ball when you come up. Okay, so you're going to come up and hit this ball. Now, great, again, there's that 90-degree angle right there once again. The little L for leverage right when he's making contact with the ball. And notice how that is going to stay all the way through till the end of the swing. There's that little L right there. Now that to me is the most important part. If you're lacking power on your backhand, is you're not using it's not so much the right grip, it's the relationship between the way you hold the racket right here and your forearm at a 90-degree angle. Now from the power position, he goes to the point of contact, 90-degree angle, maintains that all the way through. Now notice what happens to the left hand right there. Kind of pulls back out and away from the body like a referee going, you're safe right there. And it's just resulting in a beautiful backhand right there. So I'm going to let the tape roll in super slow motion right there. You can watch this over and over to try to get that good rhythm. Stroke begins right there, and boom. So the thing that you want to remember, I'm very big on the rhythm and tempo of the stroke. This first part right here is just to set up. As he's moving, the racket is just setting up right there. He's just turning and set the racket. Now from that point forward, that's where your stroke begins. Okay, do not take the racket further back than this. Just move to the ball, hold the racket. If there was a clock right there where 12 o'clock is directly in front of him, 9 o'clock is right there, 6 o'clock is behind him, and this is 3 right here. He's holding the racket at 9 o'clock right there, and it is from that point that he's going to let go. It goes a stroke right there. Releases, blends the backswing into the forward swing, and that is what's going to make a nice fluid backhand. All right, so you can read the bottom of the rest of the article. I just broke down pretty much step by step of what you should try to do. And if you were to focus on one thing, I would say on your backhand, on your regular backhand or topspin backhand, is learning to hold the little L all the way through. Number 2 is learning to get your racket into a power position. If you remember 2 things, remember the power position. Number 3, get the 90-degree angle at contact right there. Those are the 3 things. If you're going to remember 3 things on your backhand, those will be it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful backhand by Roger Federer and the analysis and the tip that goes along with it. If you have any questions, please don't feel free to email me through the site. And one more time before I let you go. Nice fluid motion from right there. Releasing it all the way through.